Hello, today I wanted to give you a little demonstration on how to hive a 3-pound package of honeybees into a Langstroth hive. I haven't got my packages in yet, so I'm just using some equipment without bees, just to give you an idea of what to expect. If you have questions on it, I'm hoping this will show you a simple way to hive the honeybees. You'll need a few basic tools to start with, supplies. I like to use a little candy plug that you can buy through bee suppliers. If you don't have a candy plug, a marshmallow works really well. With the packages that we're supplying, they should come with a candy plug. I also like to use a screw. It comes in handy to remove the cork out of the queen cage. And then a thumbtack or piece of tape is handy also. Your hive tool is you'll need to get into the package of bees. And then I like to use a 1-to-1 sugar syrup in a spray bottle. And you can use this to calm your bees just by simply spraying through the screen on the side of the package. This will give them a little bit of feed. They'll lick it off of each other and just makes them happy for a little while. So it'll calm them down and it'll make them much easier to work with. Yeah, it'll be much more effective than smoke at this point. The other thing that you'll want to have is a feeder of some sort. There's different types of feeders for the Langstroth hives. This one's just an entrance feeder. Simply fill it full of syrup, put it in the front of the hive, and the bees can feed off of that. Like I say, there's several different types. There's the in-hive feeders. Some just use a Ziploc baggie on the top of whatever method you're going with. Have that ready and to go before you open your bees. So I would get the feed in, get everything set up. You come out, open the hive box. Of course, you're going to have this placed where you want it. I'll take the center 3 frames out of the hive body. That'll just give us a little bit of space to work with to get the bees in there. So you have it all set up like this on your hive stand. Everything's ready to go. At that point, you'd want to get dressed up with your protective clothing, gloves, veil, jacket, suit, whatever you have there. And then you're ready to go. So once you're at that point, you can bring your package over to the hive. And some packages will come, they'll have a board that's nailed over this just to hold this can in place. What the can is sugar syrup. It's been put in there by the shipping supplier or the package supplier, so they have something to eat during transit, and just keeps them happy. So the idea that the thing that we're going to do next is the queen is suspended in her own little cage in there. She's separate from the rest of the bees. And she's suspended by this little wire tag. So what you'll want to do is take your hive tools, gently remove the can. If there's a lot of bees that are on there, you can shake this down a little bit, and they'll fall to the bottom. They make it a little bit easier, but you can remove this can gently. Pull it out. And then you just want to quickly slip that queen cage out and then plug the hole back up with the can. You can just set it there if you like. This is going to be covered with a lot of bees. They're attracted to her, they're protecting her, trying to keep her warm. So you can just gently brush the bees off down into the hive. Try to avoid shaking this too much. You don't want to jostle that queen inside there. But once you get all the bees off of it, there'll be a cork in the end of this shipping cage, and that's holding the queen in there, so she can't get out at this point. Some package providers will have a candy plug in there already, and so all you need to do is pull that cork out and put the queen in, and you're ready to go. I'm going to demonstrate, just in case there's not a candy plug in there, you'll need to put your own in there, and what we're trying to do is delay the time that the queen is released, and that's done with the candy. So to get the cork out, that's where the screw comes in. I simply just use it like you would a cork in a wine bottle. Just screw it in there, gently pull it out. At the same time, you want to put your finger over the end of it so that queen doesn't escape. One method you can use is if she's looking towards the front of the cage and away from the hole, she's less likely to fly out. But you want to be very careful that she doesn't escape at that point. If you pull that off and you take a little peek and there's a candy plug in there, then you're good to go. Proceed to putting her in the hive. If there's not the candy plug, then you simply want to just put that in, install that candy plug. Now she's blocked in there again, she can't escape. Another method that I like to do is take the screw or a small nail and drill a little hole all the way through, just to kind of give them a starting point to start eating that candy. What's going to happen is once we put this in there, the worker bees are going to start eating that candy. It'll take them a few days to get it eaten away so the queen can release, or the queen can come out of the cage. But during that time, they're getting used to her scent and accepting her as a queen, and your chances of success with your package is a lot better if you can delay the release of that. You'll see some videos and some things you read that you can direct release the queen into the cage. I wouldn't recommend that from a beginning for a beginner, just because you kind of decrease your odds of them accepting her. She could walk out and fly away or whatever. Keep in mind you're doing this most likely with your gloves on, so it's a little bit hard to handle. But once you have your candy plug in, what I like to do is, this is where you can use the thumbtack. Thumbtack's not always necessary. You can, if it has a wide wire like this, you can just kind of bend that wire in place like that and set it on there. If you feel more comfortable with a piece of tape or a thumbtack, you can install that in just to kind of hold that in place while you're getting the rest of the frames in. So now the queen is in the cage. You've dumped a few of the bees in there, but the majority of them are still in this. Now you can just bring this over, take the can off, shake the bees that are on the can down in here, and then just turn this upside down and shake the bees in there. You don't have to get every single bee out of this package. They're attracted to that queen and they will go towards her. At this point, there's a couple different things that work really well. One that I like is the bees are down in there. You quickly put your foundation back in. These frames are from out of a dead out, and so I'm just using those more as demonstration purposes. But if you just have bare foundation, new foundation, that's just fine. But put your hive all back together and the frames in, space them as equal as you can, and then you can take this box and just put it in there upside down like this. And then if you have an extra hive body, you can put that on top, put your lid back on, leave it overnight or even a couple of days. All the bees will leave that package and go down in there. I've heard some people that do it this way that the bees sometimes if you leave that too long, they'll go back up in the package, so I wouldn't recommend leaving it very long. If you don't want to worry about coming back and messing with it again, you don't have to put this second empty hive body on. You can just simply leave the package out in front of the hive overnight, and the bees that are in that package will come in. The bees that are in the hive will kind of let them know that that's where the queen is, and they should all come in. So regardless of what method you use, you're going to want the feed on there, your foundation, everything put together, and then just put your lid on it and leave them. With a conventional hive, I'd leave them for 10 days and then come back, check for eggs, make sure your queen's performing, she's laying her eggs, and you should be good to go.